Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Wednesday. It's January 11th. This will be our chart lesson for the day. And today just turned out to be a range day. Um, I didn't think that probably was probably much Trump could say that would affect the market, but right after he spoke, man, look at we just went crazy. It's just a big range day, but these moves are so big that they're nice trends, and there were some nice trades here. So. Hopefully you got a chance to take advantage of some of these. Several really good trades here. So I'm doing this a little early today, but I need to get out of here early this evening, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. It's after 2 o'clock, so I'm just going to go ahead and go through the chart. Everything we need is here anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But in case you're wondering why I'm so much earlier today, I need to get out of here this evening, so I'm going to go ahead and do this chart lesson. But yeah, let's back out. We'll talk about the trades. Everything's pretty relatively straightforward. Notice we got a trend working up. You get a break, a new high. You got one working down. You get a break, new low. You got one working up. You get a little break here, move to a new high, but you get another break and a push up there. Now you got one working down. You get your close outside here, two legs to a new low. Then you get this spike in channel, and it's still going. You can see that trend line working up. Somebody sent me an email. He saw this reversal pattern. He says, but I was afraid to take it because we didn't have a close outside of this channel here in a new low. But I believe we do. What he had done is he had drawn his way up here, and if you draw it like that, then yeah, you don't really have a close outside. But generally, I use the closes. Even if I start it from the very high, I'll still use the closes, and they give you a little more accurate read of a channel, in my opinion. So either way you did that, you would have had your break or close outside the trend line right here, and you do get two legs to a new low. Even if you didn't have that, if you get a confirmed trend line like this going the other way, I'm not going to, you probably shouldn't ignore it. Um, because sometimes you don't, price action's not 100%. You got to be careful now. You don't want to be bottom picking or anything like that. But if you shoot through the EMA like that and you get your little reversal pattern and that setup right there, you better take it. So hopefully that's clear. But let's back on out, talk about the trades, and we'll wrap the day up. But first trade I saw was this higher low right here. Notice that we were just in a trading range when I came in, and we made a higher low here. Um, and you had a couple little matching bar, two bar matching lows there, and you broke lower and turned the reverse, had a little reversal bar. So I like going long right there. Um, this is a trading range, and we did get a higher low. You found some good support, and you got a little bit of a trap there. There is a little bit of a short-term trend working down there, so you had to take that into account. But as many times as we've tested this low and then suddenly make a higher low and a fairly bullish bar, I think that's probably worth taking. Notice it turned down there again. You might have considered going short here off this lower high. When it turned back up, um, you you might have considered it again. Only thing is you got to make sure you got room to get out in case this trend line is valid here, which it turns out it is. So I didn't really mark those. This one had a doji, and if you were going to go short, it'd have to have been here on this bar. So it's a maybe. I'll, I'll make it green. But by the time it formed, you got three or four bars stacked up there, and you got a doji sitting right in the middle. And, it's always suspect. So, um, but if you don't see if you're not paying attention to the trend line, then you might go short right there with no issues. But you need to be aware of that possible trend line on that higher low. We made a higher low here, so that concerns me. Uh, if we're going to go down, we should have been making lower highs and not higher lows. So you do get a bounce here and confirms this trend line, but again, you're going sideways. You got two fairly bearish bars, either doji bearish bar. It did turn down here lower first and go out the upper side. So you might have considered going long there. And of course, there is a short-term trend line right down through here. Um, but I think you're better off to skip that. And then notice you find resistance here, it pulls back. But you do have a new low there. Notice that. So you're moving up. You get a first entry short. You push on through the resistance here and pull back, and you get a failed second entry short, and it turns up. Go long right there, because that's your reversal pattern trap. We're probably going higher, and sure enough, it does. And you're working down. You get a little close outside, move to a new low, and where does it bounce? You get a nice bullish bar, basically right off that trend line. Go long there. It does give you a higher low here, but it's right into those highs. Uh, there's a little bit of a possible close outside right there, so I don't think I'd take this one. It does turn down after that, and where does it bounce? Right at that same support resistance again. Pulls back, gives you a higher low. This is really your signal bar, and I wouldn't go long above it, but you get that bullish one with a higher low right there next to it. So break above it, I'd probably go long looking for it to make that new high, which it does make here. So, but if you do enter there, your stop has to go below this bar right here, even though this really set the trade up. Um, and of course we do, we run up, we make a new high that turns down. And this one is tempting. Um, but this has been a pretty strong trend working up. And we only have really one leg working up, so there's too big a chance that it comes back and bounces again. If you want to be really aggressive, you might take that one because that's a really bearish bar. Um, so just something to think about. But look what happens. It pushes on through, it pulls back, and it actually breaks higher first and then turns and goes right out the other side. I like going short there on a stop. But you could have waited on this one. And seen if you could have gotten in there. That's a huge bearish bar. You can't ignore that. We're probably going to at least test this low. Um, if you may not even be able to get in this trade, but if you could, you want to enter there. And that's a nice move down. And then you get a close outside here and another chance to go short. It's basically a double top. You're looking for prices to make a new low. And even though you made a lower low here, that's still two legs back. That's a two-legged move, and you've got a lower high. It's lower than that one. You got some strong resistance right there. I like going short right there. This is really your signal bar. It's kind of like the other one. They got the same low, but you couldn't enter below this one, but you could this one, but your stop still has to go above the bar with the green in it. So your safety stop, that is. And like you would expect, I mean, that's a big bearish move down. We're probably going to get a new low. And then, of course, it bounces. And then you draw it off those first few swings there. You actually get a failed second entry short right here. So you could have gone long right there, actually. And actually, no, that's the reason I didn't mark that. I was thinking this ticked lower here, but it doesn't. That is your first entry and then your failed second entry. But with that being the trend line and this being such a tight, you still could have gone long there. So if you did, I would add on here because this is a failed second entry short and your trap. And so I like them both. And once you start heading up, you can see this one pretty easy. There's your first leg. Just look for at least a measured leg. You see we basically got that to the tick, and it turns down. So you got a double top too, and you get that little trap. Big bearish bar. I like going short there. There's a lower high here. I'm not as crazy about that one. But you can even consider that one. I'm going to make it green. And there is a little short-term trend line there. But you do get a close outside. And that's another reason I'm not crazy about it. And it's so close to that low. So, but I'll leave it green. And then we work back to the back up. You didn't really have a trend line here in place. All you got your shorter term one. You really don't have this one. You didn't get to draw it till here. So I drew that trend line, and notice it tries to come up and gives you that big bearish bar again. Just go short. It looks almost like this over here. This is kind of a repeat pattern. And again, you got leg one. So when leg two starts down, if you're looking for a measured move, you see we went a little further than that. So got a little better than a measured move. And then it bounces. And you get a close outside. There's a little trend line working up there. You can see that little channel. And you get a close outside, move to a new high, and it turns down. That's a second entry short. Notice the new low, first entry, pull back second entry. So second entry short, right off the trend line, right at the EMA. Another nice move down. Then it pulls back. You actually get a failed second entry long here because you're coming down first entry, pull back second entry, and you get that big bearish bar. You've already had a close outside a new low, but because of the way this set up and how bearish that bar is, if you can get in it, I'd go short right there. And of course, it does bounce after it makes a new low. And notice that new low, you get a first entry short, second entry short, it fails. Go long right there. I mean, that's a perfect reversal pattern. Look how it shot through the EMA. Tries to go lower once, tries to go lower twice, and gives you a nice bullish bar. And then you make another high, pull back first entry, pull back second entry. So there's you another nice bullish bar on a second entry long. You got to use this for your signal bar. That's too neutral. So you do have to go long right into that high, but that did confirm that trend line. Notice that spiking channel there. It fits on the top really well, so I wouldn't be afraid to take that trade even into that high, because we're probably coming back to test this high, and we're probably taking back all of this news related stuff where we sold off. We really almost already taken it back, and now you can see we ended up really trading up for the day again. So we're still, this trend line's still in play. That's the reason I wouldn't want to ignore that trend line there. And my phone keeps going off. I apologize, but I don't want to stop the video. I'll just check it later, but I apologize for the beeping in the background. But yeah, you can see in the end it's just a big trading range, but it's such a big range, 2255 to almost 2270. So that's 20 points. That's a very large range, and so you get some nice trends within there. You can see these, and they all were really straightforward for the most part. There weren't any real surprises. So it was a nice trading day, and hopefully you were able to take advantage of it and have some nice trades today. But I'm going to wrap it up. I've got to get out of here early today. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow and wrap up our week. I can't believe we've already finished the first week of the new year almost. Man, the time just flying by. So, but yeah, we'll be back again tomorrow. I'm out of here for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.